Ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Moreno Boxing TV, folks. You know, it's lockdown time. I had to return, so we're going to revisit the stance. So we're going to start from scratch again. What people do wrong when they get into their boxing stance. So without further ado, you know what it is. Let's get ready to box sale. Number one, the first thing that people do wrong is they don't understand what a boxing stance is. When we ask someone what's a boxing stance, they turn around and say it's your guard. Your guard and your boxing stance are not the same thing, okay? Your guard is your defense, okay? Your boxing stance is the way that you stand. Listen to this, it's the way you stand in order to maximize or optimize your attack and defense. The first thing that I see a lot of people do wrong when they get into their boxing stance is they have their feet way too narrow like this. Yeah, they have one leg behind the other and it just doesn't work because it's going to compromise your balance. That's number one. So what you actually want to do is offset the leg to the side, okay, to make sure that you've got this L shape so that you can distribute the weight evenly between both feet. Second thing that I see a lot of people do wrong is they're flat-footed. When you're flat-footed, it reduces your mobility, you can't move effectively. What you actually want to do is lift your back heel slightly off the ground, and you want to have like a little suppleness, a little springiness to your feet. So the idea is to stay on the balls of your feet. You're on the balls of your feet so you can move efficiently. What is the third thing that people do wrong? They don't bend the knees. If you keep your legs straight like this, you become very immobile and it doesn't allow you to move efficiently. You need to be supple, okay? Another problem is that if you keep your legs straight like this and you lock out your knees, if you get hit in the chin, you're gonna go down much easier. If you bend your knees like this, you can put your weight further down onto your legs and your legs will brace you so you don't fall down if you get hit with a good shot. The fourth thing that people do wrong is their hips are way too square. The same as having your feet too narrow or too wide like this. If your hips are way too square like this and your chest is facing forward, your bigger target, this is called being square on. Instead, you want a 45-degree angle here on your hips so that you're a smaller target and you're less likely to get hit. The fifth thing that people do wrong when they get into their boxing stance is their elbows are pointing out like this. You're looking like a bird and you're ready to take off. You want your elbows pointing down towards the floor so that your ribs are protected and you don't get caught with body shots, because those body shots, they really hurt. Compress your elbows in like this, pointing straight down towards the floor. That way you're more compact as well and you can generate more force when you throw your punch. The next thing that people do wrong when they get into their boxing stance, their shoulders are way too tense. If you've got your shoulders way too tense up here, okay, you're gonna get way more tired and your hands will begin to drop. In fact, what you actually want is you want to relax the shoulders, yeah, so you're able to last a lot longer without getting all that lactic acid build up, yeah, and you can punch a bit smoother and a bit faster as well because you're not too tense. I think this is number 7, is people like to move their hands away from their face too much. I know you see it in Hollywood movies, you see Rocky Balboa doing this and stuff. It looks really cool, but it doesn't work. We're not doing karate. In karate, they're blocking and using their hands for defense. In boxing, it's minimum movements, and you want to stay as compact as you can. Instead of doing this with your hands, what you actually want to do is keep your hands on your chin and you want to move your head. That's how you set a rhythm to avoid getting hit with shots. So look at the difference. You see people do this, that's wrong. All of this stuff, Rocky Balboa stuff, doesn't work. You want your hands here, compressed, here. The next thing that people do wrong, you're like this, your hands are too low, your chin's up in the air, you're going to get knocked out, okay? It's very easy target. This is your button, the same way as when you play chess, you're trying to protect the king. When you're boxing, this is the king, you're trying to protect your chin. You want your chin pointing down towards the floor, and you want to tuck your chin into your shoulder ideally, but remember, you don't want it too tense, so relax the shoulder and just have your chin sandwiched between your hand and your shoulder just here, a little bit of a gap, and the front hand defends. So always protect your king, always protect your chin. The last thing that people do wrong in the boxing stance, it's very similar to the first one, not understanding what a boxing stance actually is and saying it's a guard. In fact, people think that a boxing stance has to be too static and has to be too constricted. Remember, you're not a statue. You can't be boxing like a statue. There are many different stances. For example, you've got the tight peekaboo stance, you've got the shoulder roll, Philly shell stance down here. You've got some people, they like to drop their hands down here. You've got the amateur European style of boxing up here, Olympic boxing style here, okay, your classic boxing. There's so many different stances and you use them depending on the situation. Mike Tyson, very aggressive, chin tucked in, he wants to get in close and he wants to throw bombs. Muhammad Ali is very relaxed, very defensive, he's going back, boom, boom, very defensive, shooting that jab out long range, trying to set up the right hand, and he's constantly moving his feet. Because Ali's got his hands relaxed like this, it helps with his balance. So he's using his hands for balance so he can move his feet and be more relaxed, and then he's not tense, increases his speed, improves his timing. Your stance is going to depend on many different attributes like your height, your strength, your fighting style, etc., what your goal is, your strategy in the fight. But the main thing is to understand that there are many different boxing style stances that you can use, and that a stance doesn't have to be static, and that a stance is not a guard. A stance is just simply a way to allow you to effectively implement your game plan, whether that's an aggressive game plan, a counter-punch game plan, or a defensive game plan. So guys, during this lockdown, whatever boxing training you're doing, whether you're doing it online or whether your gyms are open where you are, make sure that you're practicing a proper stance in the gym. And on that note, keep up the boxeo. And another note, for those of you who live in the UK or those of you around the world, the UK right now is on lockdown. I know that in America there's a lockdown. Pretty much everywhere there's a lockdown. So guys, we've officially launched the Moreno Boxing online classes. So I know a lot of you on YouTube have been asking for this again and again and again. We actually have the Moreno Boxing online classes. So if you guys plan on joining the online classes, check out my website, morenoboxing.co.uk, click on online classes. The membership is $29.99 per month. You can join up on a monthly basis or you can pay per class. I'm going to be making guest appearances as well, so you can catch me tuning in to some classes. If you want me to appear on some of the classes, make sure you comment down below and say, Carlos, come on, teach us something. Peace.